88 million years ago, a tectonic fracture sealed the doors on a biological locked room mystery. Madagascar is an isolated, closed-door ecosystem. Trapped inside, there was only one way to survive: perfect a flawless method of execution. The Fossa. How do highly agile primates simply vanish from the canopy every night? The physics of this three-dimensional labyrinth dictate that a heavy predator should lose traction and plummet. Yet the kills continue. It looks feline, but that is a lie. It is a mongoose, forced by extreme isolation to become an apex pursuer. Semi-retractable claws provide instant, shock-absorbing grip, but the true weapon is skeletal. Its hind ankles rotate a full 180 degrees. This allows it to sprint straight down vertical trunks head first. If a jump goes wrong, a muscular tail equal to its entire body length acts as a gyroscopic stabilizer, violently correcting mid-air trajectories milliseconds before a fatal impact. Far below, an entirely different assassin prepares to strike from a distance, using an elongated neck. But up here, survival requires picking a biological lock. The eye. Local legend states if this creature points its elongated middle finger at you, you are marked for death. Operating in the pitch black, the superstition makes perfect sense. It is a nocturnal primate with a skeletal third digit that looks like a structural mutation. The target is a larva, entombed 2 centimeters deep inside solid hardwood. The eye operates as a biological safecracker. Watch it press its face against the bark. It uses that skeletal finger to strike the wood exactly 8 times per second. Massive ears listen purely to the micro vibrations echoing back. It translates resonance shifts to build a precise 3-dimensional map of hidden tunnels, hunting for the subtle acoustic shadow of its prey. Once it isolates the location, it gnaws a microscopic entry point. The elongated finger deploys. Anchored by a ball and socket joint, it rotates a full 360 degrees, sliding blindly through the wood to snag the target and drag it out alive. A rapid, nightmare-inducing extraction. The Madagascar assassin spider. Down in the leaf litter, the mechanics of murder change. Hunting venomous prey usually results in mutual destruction. To execute another spider without entering its strike range, the solution is engineered distance. The Madagascar assassin spider is a microscopic executioner measuring barely 8 millimeters. Instead of spinning webs, it approaches a target's web and deliberately plucks the silk, mimicking a trapped fly to lure the resident out of hiding. When the target emerges, the assassin reveals its anatomy. It possesses a biological crane arm acting as an elongated neck. This positions its jaws safely outside the victim's counterstrike radius. From this distance, massive spear-like mandibles strike at a 90-degree angle, impaling the prey like a harpoon. Scaled up, it is the equivalent of a human using a 2-meter neck to execute a target from across a room. Later, we will document an amphibian deploying a self-activating chemical trap. But first, we must observe a creature that survives the daylight by ceasing to exist. The Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. When the sun rises, the canopy is actively patrolled by avian predators. For a small reptile, daylight is an automatic death sentence. The only option is to cease to exist. Color alone still casts a shadow. To truly disappear, camouflage must be physical. This gecko deploys dermal flaps that spread flat against the bark, completely breaking its 3-dimensional outline. Vascular control manipulates its skin to mimic rotting vegetation, generating the optical illusion of physical holes and fungal spots. Microscopic pads on its feet exploit van der Waals forces, locking the animal onto the tree on a molecular level. It hangs in absolute paralysis for 14 hours. Once the sun drops, the optical illusion ends. The dead leaf detaches from the wood, reverting into a lethal, nocturnal ambush predator, silently stalking insects from the exact shadows it spent all day mimicking. Darwin's bark spider. Look above the river. Millions of flying insects use this open airspace because it feels safe. But the transit corridor is rigged. Intercepting this traffic requires an industrial suspension bridge. Darwin's bark spider engineers a biological snare right across the flight path. She stands on one bank, releasing a bridging line into the wind, letting air currents carry the silk until it anchors on the opposite side. The trap is inescapable due to its chemistry. The silk is 10 times stronger than Kevlar. Scaled to a human framework, a net woven from threads the thickness of a pencil could arrest a passenger jet mid-flight. When an insect hits this massive, invisible wall, there is no structural failure. The web holds the kinetic impact, and the architect descends to execute. Down in the rotting logs, we will uncover a multi-jointed grappling hook armed with a neurotoxic cocktail. But first, listen to the forest floor. The Madagascar hissing cockroach. In the dark, dominance is usually established by vocal intimidation. Lacking vocal cords, how does a scavenger warn an attacker to back off? It turns its body into a pressurized pneumatic valve. The Madagascar hissing cockroach violently expels air through respiratory pores. The fourth pair of spiracles on its abdomen is entirely detached from the breathing cycle, acting purely as an exhaust system. When a predator approaches, the insect compresses its internal cavities, blasting pressurized air to generate an 80 decibel roar from the leaf litter. The males even manipulate these frequencies into a non-vocal language for combat. The red rain frog. A predator snaps its jaws shut around a 4-centimeter amphibian. The victim makes no attempt to escape. It simply waits. The attacker has triggered a biological landmine. Upon kinetic pressure, the red rain frog's skin violently secretes a fast-curing, industrial-grade adhesive. Within seconds, the predator's jaws are chemically fused together. It locks itself in its own trap. While the attacker struggles, the frog deploys a secondary payload of toxic alkaloids, severely burning the interior of the mouth. It only flashes its toxic warning colors when moving, a sudden visual shock to disorient anything watching. This specific brand of chemical warfare is a completely independent invention, forged purely by the pressure of the island. A localized chemical burn is brutal. But the ultimate execution method of this isolated world does not rely on passive traps. The Madagascar giant centipede. Go underground. The space beneath a rotting log is pitch black and impossibly narrow. Engaging in a physical struggle down here risks shattering an exoskeleton against dirt walls, so the hunter does not wrestle. At 20 centimeters long, the Madagascar giant centipede bypasses a fight entirely. It anchors its rear segments deep into the soil, leaving the front half free to sweep the tunnels in a rapid 360-degree arc. When it strikes, there is no bite. The first pair of legs have mutated into twin biological hypodermic needles. They punch through flesh, delivering a neurotoxin engineered for a synchronized shutdown of the victim's cardiovascular and respiratory systems. A human subjected to this injection experiences localized tissue necrosis and excruciating level 4 pain.